Hello and welcome to Destiny Digits. This is the expression number 1 reading. So if your expression is number 1, that means that you have the potential to be a leader. You are a trailblazer. You are very independent. You're bold. You are fearless. You are unafraid to make changes even when they have to be done alone. You are very determined and ambitious, right? So that is your potential if this is your number. To find this number, use the link in the description box. Alrighty, so here we go for the ones, those who have the opportunities to be the leaders, the trailblazers, the independent thinkers, most importantly. Alright. It says, this is not your practice life. Decide. Okay? This is not your practice life. That means that your choices matter. What is has no bearing on what will be. So that's confirmation that the past is not an indication of what the future has to offer to you. And then we have you are the joy seeker. And then that extra card was out of the woods, you've made it through. Okay. And at the bottom of the deck, it says trust your faith. Dive into the unfolding journey. What is your faith asking of you? All right, one. So it looks like you guys are on a path that is new to you. And so there are some things that you have to do in order to shift and adjust for what is to come. So one thing you need to know is that this life is real, right? And so when the message came out that this is not your practice life, that's just saying, that we'd love to think that we had all the time in the world to choose, to decide, but we don't, right? And so it's important to follow your truth. That is what will help you get through those tight spots where indecision seems to be consuming us. Right? So when we don't know how to decide, when we don't know what to do next, when we don't know how we want to spend this life, think about what's in your heart. Think about what you dream of and start there. We have peace, freedom, doubt. And at the bottom of the deck, perseverance. All right, one. So the overall message we have, perseverance. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. Trust your faith. Dive into the unfolding journey, right? So there are two things that you have to do, right? One is you have to create or you have to believe, and then you have to trust exactly what it is you believe about what is to come for you. So you obviously have been through some things, right? When we see perseverance, that means that this has been a journey and this has not been an easy one, right? We have peace that came out next to this is your practice. This is not your practice life. You must decide, right? And so when we think about what is in our heart, what do we choose for us? What do we want to see in our future? Well, one thing is we want to see peace. We want to have peace. Right? This says, I release all negative energy. So if you are stuck between, two minds and you're considering if you should leave a situation, how you should separate from something, is it worth you separating? Think about whether or not whatever you're involved in brings you peace. Does it disturb your peace? Does it add to your peace? Does it take away? That's how we really start to choose what is best for us in life. So when we're making choices about places, people, things, and we're really deciding what we want, what's next what we want out of what comes next. We have to decide about what represents me, what gives me love. I am love. Love goes through me. All negative things I release. So anything that has negatively impacted me up to this point, that has blocked me from being able to see me and choose me, anything that has gotten in the way of my own vision of self, is something that I will have to separate from, right? Now we have freedom. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. What is has no bearing on what will be, right? So Spirit is saying, you can free yourself from where you have come from. That was no indication of where you are about to be welcomed into. Right? So free yourself of what was, allow it to play whatever role it had to play for you. But please don't assume the identity based on your past. Don't pick up that as who you are. Right? And so when you think about what you want your life to look like and feel like, the last thing to do is to think about your past. Right? Because that is not an indication of what is to come. So when we're thinking about what we want it to look like, what we want it to feel like, those are things that may be new energies that we are not really comfortable with. Maybe we don't know how to envision those things, but that's okay. But nonetheless, Spirit is saying, you have the power and the free will to create any life you desire. And in the event, you are creating a life of happiness. And so any part of your history that brought you unhappiness can be left where it is. We don't have to bring that forward with us. At the bottom of the deck, we have the World. Okay, you are the joy seeker. Out of the woods, you've made it through in doubt. I release the need to know all the answers. So sometimes when we make it through trials, we really want to understand why we had to endure what we just endured, right? And sometimes we want to move forward, but we're so scarred by what has been that we're a little hesitant about where to place our feet, where to go, what to choose. And so what we look for are answers, our confirmation. And so that's when we say trapped in that space of not being decisive. It's because we want to see more than is available for us to see. But then that's when Spirit says, please trust your faith, and dive into what's unfolding in front of you. You've been through a lot. This won't be easy, but you are strong enough. You are where you're supposed to be. And it is through your perseverance, it is through you believing that you can get through anything that will actually push you through everything, right? And so be the joy seeker. Even if this seems like a massive mountain that you have overcome, whatever this is for you, whatever this represents for you, even if it seems massive, Spirit is saying that there are small victories that you can find throughout this story that can give you joy. But nonetheless, something new is emerging. And this is really almost a new version of you that you haven't seen, right? And so what do you want your new version of self to look like, feel like? What do you want to be experiencing? What does freedom look like in your life? If you have peace, where does peace take place? What are you doing when you are feeling at peace? Who's around you? How are you spending your time? If you wanted to know the answers to anything about, what are the questions you have about what's to come, right? We may not know the answers, but at least we can clear our minds and get down all those curiosities we have on paper, so that we can keep our anxiety at bay. All right, so at the bottom of the tarot deck, we have the World. So something clearly is ending and something will begin. And so this is about a cycle. This is something you have completed. And so that's why Spirit says, what was is over. It will never be. You will not experience whatever you have just come from before. So please don't misunderstand your journey, right? In the center, we have Seven of Pentacles. And so this is the energy of really assessing if we are content and happy with the outcome of whatever work we have put into something, right? Am I getting a return? Am I getting what I desired? Did I put in what I thought I should have? Was I interrupted? Was I distracted? Is this a true reflection of everything that I had to give to a situation? Okay. And so this seems to be the energy between, we have an Emperor and a Queen of Cups. Now those could be real people energies, or those could just be just two dynamics that we're working with. So the Emperor is a position and energy of authority, of control, someone that has no problem leading, no problem with rules and regulations and laws. These are people that definitely feel like there is a right and a wrong. And they have no power, no problem enforcing their power, right? And so maybe this was an energy that you dealt with in the past. Maybe this was an energy that you felt like you were up against, and this was something that maybe you weren't, you felt like you couldn't create, or you couldn't grow amongst or up against this type of energy. So maybe in the past, things felt harsh, they felt tight, they felt not as liberating for you. And so now this is something, when we have this freedom card, it says that you can create anything you want, right? And so if we're thinking about where we were, and if the environment felt rigid, or if we felt stifled, and if we are in this Queen of Cups energy, this is somebody that's realizing that, or this is someone that is just very soft and open to love, right? They embrace love, they receive it, but they also give it. They are emotionally stable. This is somebody that just makes you feel comfortable and at ease with your emotions, with your feelings, very understanding and compassionate. And so, is this an aspect of yourself that you want to invite into your life? Is this who you were? Was this the energy that you had, but you were not able to display it? So is this about freeing that side of you? Is this about freeing the heart-centered space of you? So when we're talking about our own happiness, we're really talking about making choices from our heart. And so that's what this Queen of Cups represents. And so if we're thinking about what was and what will be, this is making sure that all our choices come from a true and authentic space within us. Now, the cool thing is beneath the Emperor, we have the Empress. And so this is like a counterpart, a true match, a pairing, if we're talking about cards that represent relationships. So we do have almost like a divine, energetic partnership, and then the Queen of Cups would be someone on the outside, if these are real people. But nonetheless, beneath the Emperor is the Empress. And the Empress talks about an energy that is very nurturing, an energy that they're a caretaker, they're motherly, they're creative, they're abundant, right? They're just like Mother Earth, but in a human form, right? And so this is the energy of creation, of something new. But then we have Four of Cups, which is kind of contradictory, because Four of Cups is being over it, not really wanting to play anymore, being just so upset with the outcome, being so upset with the way life has gone, that you're just like, okay, I'm done. This is over it. I'm not even sure if I'm willing to take any opportunities that come next, right? So this is about having the potential to create, but just being so upset with with what this has brought to you, and I guess the disappointment that you felt, right? And so when we've talking about out of the woods, you've made it through. It seems like you've made it through a lot of situations that have taken your joy and maybe stopped your ability to create, to become this abundant, nurturing, you know, just motherly. And when we say motherly, this is just this isn't about gender. It's just about energy. So nonetheless, your joy kind of had been zapped. And so then we have the energy of the Page of Pentacles, right? And so at some point you realize, I have something that's worthwhile. There's something in me that I want to pursue. I want to develop. There's something that I want to create, establish. And I think it's worthwhile. So when I do walk away from these situations that maybe didn't give me or didn't pan out to be what I thought they were, at least I have something within me that I can pursue, right? But I'm a little nervous. I'm doubting. I don't have all the answers. I don't know. Is this going to bring me joy? Is this going to be something practical, stable, promising? Is it going to be secure? And so this is where we overcome those fears, that doubt, the reflecting on the past, and we step into the new opportunity that this newness brings us. Once we move past, this energy of lack and stress and anxiety and grief. Above the Seven of Pentacles, which is our center card, we have the Ten of Wands. And this is about stress, carrying too much, right? And so when we're talking about peace, not being able to see where you're going because you are carrying so much in life that you really are not planning, you're just kind of stumbling through your days, right? That is a life where peace is not present, right? Because you're just kind of making it through. Every day seems the same. But this peace card says, I'm a being of love and I release all the negative energy. So the Ten of Wands is exactly that. The 10 is at the end of the cycle, and they have the ability to drop those wands and to begin again, right? But it's when you drop those wands that you can stand upright, you can see, and you can really envision what you want to do next with your energy. So it's about learning how to use your energy properly, not carrying too much, and just using all of you wisely, right? And then we have this Magician card. This is about being able to manifest. So there's something in me that I desire to do or pursue. It's coming from my heart. If I were to do this, I would feel free. I would feel happiness would be abundant in my life, right? And this new life would look nothing like the life I've come from. And so now I'm in the energy of releasing the anxiety, making a choice, chasing after. So when Spirit says this is not your practice life, you need to decide, what is your inner voice telling you about the dream in your heart? This energy of the Knight of Wands is how you need to taste your dream, right? So your choices matter. And we don't really have time to always get it wrong, because this is us we're talking about, and we want to get our story and we want to get our journey right. So it is appropriate to take your time. But when we're taking our time to doubt or to fear, then we're not really helping ourselves at all. And so Spirit says, step into this energy of the Knight of Swords. You need to chase this choice of yours. Whatever you decide, make sure it's a dream that is in your heart. It should be something that gives you peace, something that rids you of this Ten of Wands, this anxiety, this burden, this stress, this heaviness, right? And it should be something that allows you the freedom, something that you create. It should be something, where you already possess all the moving parts. They're already within you. And it's just about you believing and putting everything together and trusting and having faith in what is unfolding before you, right? And so you get to choose what comes next at the end of the cycle. You get to choose to put these wands down. You get to choose how to respond to this energy of being kind of questionable. Like, am I happy with this version of life at this moment? Am I happy with where I am? What do I want to free myself from? What do I never want to go back to again? What do I never want to experience? What took away my joy, right? What did I just have to get through? Why was that necessary? You know, there are certain things that you now can do that maybe you never knew you could do. And it's only through struggles sometimes that we get to understand the true strength that we have within. All right, ones. I'm hoping something in here was worthwhile. Thank you for stopping by. Take care.